Hello there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your teen tarot reading. So as we progress through, the end of July, when I'm publishing this video, moving towards the beginning of this, I feel like some of the things that are coming up for examination for you guys is overall how content you are with your life and overall whether or not you're happy. So in terms of happiness, they're really asking you this question: are you currently happy where you are? Is there enough emotional satisfaction? Is there enough of a challenge for you? Are there enough new things to keep your mind occupied and to keep you feeling grounded and to keep you feeling content? Okay. So I feel like for some of you, this might be in a work environment where you feel like, okay, if I continue to work where I am, there is possibility for me to, rise up in the ranks, get a better job, rise into a higher paying position, rise into a position of prominence. But they're asking you, is that enough? Are you content with, do the status quo? Are you okay with staying with that same organization, with that same company? Or do you feel like your skills can be applied elsewhere? And then additionally, is it interesting enough to do long term, 5, 10 years down the line? Is it interesting enough for you to keep you on your toes and to keep your mind nimble and to keep you emotionally interested in it? Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing that I'm feeling here, and they mention overall, some of you might be in, I feel like relationships that are innately very, very stable, but I feel this sense of restlessness coming in. And they want you to be very careful about, seeing the proper value in people and in things. So if it's a stable relationship and if you really love your partner and you know you can count on them, just really think about why you feel like it's not enough, okay? Is it just a temporary burst of excitement that you're looking for that the relationship is no longer providing because it's too stable? Or do you not feel content enough with that relationship? So I feel like these things are coming up for reexamination as well. And then on the flip side of that, I feel like for some of you, you want a little bit more excitement. You're feeling a little bit frisky for this month, okay? And this can be wanting to explore, wanting to see what else is available out there, not being satisfied with the status quo anymore. And so I feel like you want to be very careful about which direction, where you are treading, because I feel like it could lead to this need for excitement, for something new, could lead to a temporary lapse in judgment where you do something that can, adversely affect you and the people that you love. Okay, so just be very, very careful about that. So I'm sensing for many of you, there is a major need here to want to branch out, to explore new territory, to see what else is available for you, and to, try something new, something that hasn't been done before. You're looking for stimulation, intellectual stimulation, emotional stimulation. You're looking for, I feel like this need to take risk, and I just want you to be careful. Um, we are heavily dealing with a Mercury retrograde cycle in the month of this, and Mercury retrograde cycles, when it comes into the picture, it's a really inopportune time for us to do something like sneaky. And if sneaky behaviors are reverted to, they're going to be found out. So you want to be a little bit careful. Okay, be on the up and up. Do things in a procedurally correct way. Do what you're supposed to. Okay, so this I feel like this transient energy that's coming through, it's not long term. It's coming in to force you to examine, where can I make a change? It doesn't mean, where can I make a drastic change, but rather where can I make a change so that I'm happier, so that I can so that I can be a little bit more emotionally fulfilled. And I feel like what it's saying as well is don't do anything drastic. Don't do anything that you will regret. Okay. So just take things one step at a time, because you're going to feel this urge to kind of want to break out of your current predicament. You're going to feel this urge to want to break out of your current situation. And so drastic measures are not supported for this month. We feel the urge to do things, but we should try to control them. Okay. I also feel like there might be some digestive problems with any of you. Be careful when it comes to binging. Okay, so I feel like you go through periods where you might forego breakfast and lunch because you're too busy at work, and then when dinner time rolls around, you're famished and you just stuff yourself. So be careful about indigestion. Taking small bites, making sure that you get a lot of liquids along with your meals, and just being careful about stomach issues. So that means trying to heat your food properly, and especially if food has been sitting out, you want to make sure that you heat it or either toss it out. Just don't take risks when it comes to food. Okay, so the last thing that I want to bring up before we go into this spread here, I feel like for some of you, they're mentioning like a financial windfall that's coming into the picture for you for the month of this. And the financial windfall, it feels to me like this is something that is health related. It's something that you've been kind of like that has been held up for a very long time, and it's going to be coming into the picture for you. Okay, so if there has been delays, if you're expecting money and there has been some drastic major delays, and especially if it pertains to health, I feel like things are going to start to clear up, and I do feel that there's going to be resolution coming in that manner. Okay, so having said that, let me just go into your reading for this month. So first of all, let me talk about a relationship. Okay, this is a person that you either have children with, that you've had a very turbulent relationship with. Okay, it was very passionate, very exciting, and I feel like you might have at one point lived with this person. So this is a Scorpio, a Pisces, or a Cancer, sun, moon, or rising. And this is somebody that you are sharing space with or are living with, okay? This person is going to figure prominently in the picture. And I feel for some of you, you might have children with this person. And there are some issues regarding child rearing practices, regarding parenting techniques. And you might not be seeing eye to eye when it comes to proper disciplinary measures, when it comes to how do we teach our children. There might not be like agreement between you and the other person as to what's the proper way to, be a parent, or how to properly be co-parents with one another. For some of you, this might not be someone who's in your life anymore. They might have been out of the picture, but I feel like the parenting energies are figuring very prominently in this situation. And I just want to say this. I feel like some of you do not want to interact with this person. You don't want to interact with them. It's like it might have been a bad relationship that ended, but you have children together. You might have assets together. You might need to discuss some financial arrangements with one another. You don't want to deal with this person. You prefer to keep them kind of like at a distance. You don't want them to enter your life or re-enter your life. You don't really want them to be around, okay? And so I feel like if the issues come up, they really want you to put your ego aside and to deal with this situation in the based on higher wisdom. Okay, so that means if there are problems concerning children, let your bygones be bygones with that person and approach them not as oh, that ex, or whatever it is, but rather just approach it as, okay, we're both adults here, we need to just tackle the issue as it comes in. So I feel like some of you are dreading the communication with this person, and I feel like some of you are not responding. They might come in under the guise of and I feel like for some of you there are legitimate concerns about kids, and joint children, like joint custody and things like that. And then for others, I feel like I feel like the other person is using that kind of like as leverage, and they really want to communicate with you about something, but they might be using the children to kind of leverage the relationship, and you don't want to interact. You're just like, I'm done with that phase or that chapter in my life. I don't want to interact with you. So you might let them go to email, or you might let them go to your voicemail. You might not pick up the phone. If they text you, you might be communicating through the kids. So be very, very careful about how we handle these energies, okay? As an adult in the relationship, it's really, really important to be very clear when we communicate and make sure that you're communicating with the person that the messages are meant for. So going through children, I don't feel like that's a good idea. Okay. Does that make sense? So I feel like, this obviously is not going to apply to everybody, but I feel like if that's the situation, be very, very direct and be very, very clear. I do feel there are legitimate children issues coming up between you and the other person. And they're saying that you need to hear what the other person has to say. You need to hear what the other person has to say. So that means they're coming in the way their energy is. They're caring. Okay. They're very caring, and they want you to understand something. So I feel like you're going to be interacting with them, and you need to put aside your differences and listen to what they have to say. I feel like for some of you, this is somebody that you are seeing at a distance. Okay. So for others, you're still with this person. This is a, excuse me, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And if it's like a long distance relationship, if it's somebody that you care about, you are starting to feel like, oh, we don't really have that much in common. You're starting to feel that. You're starting to feel like, who are you? I thought, I got you figured out, but we don't really have a lot of agreements with each other. And our goals in life are actually very different. So, is it worth still being in this relationship? Is it worth still exploring? So I feel like you're going through the motions of, doing some major reassessment when it comes to your relationship. The twos in the minor arcana, they basically indicate relationship. And this is a relationship where um, I feel like one person is in the picture and the other person's either at a distance, or the other person is just, not in agreement in terms of like, how do we move the relationship, along. Okay. So I'm feeling that you have some major reassessment here. And, going back to that first message that I mentioned, are you happy? Are you seriously, can you honestly look at yourself and say, I'm content. I'm content with this relationship. I want it to work. I want it to go the whole 9 yards because this is absolutely somebody I love. Or do you have some reservations? And I feel like this is a very similar Aquarian energy that's coming through. Um, you like the other person, and I feel that, but I also sense that something's not enough here. Okay. Um, I'm also sensing for many of you, you're single. You've gotten out of a really very, very, I want to say like karmic and possibly tumultuous relationship. Okay. You've learned a lot from that relationship. It happened for a reason. You've learned a lot, and you are now moving on single and trying to, put yourself out there to start dating. And I feel like, yes, you want that intimacy, but at the same time, you're really afraid. I also feel this, energy here about, I don't really know if I'm ready, making excuses not to put yourself out there. You've been burned in the past. I understand that, Sagittarius. And a lot of you are coming into this month single, looking for love, but it's almost like you're a little bit jaded and you just don't really believe in soulmates, in happily ever after anymore. And you're at this point a lot more cautious and careful about dating, but you're also in the spirit of self-preservation. Okay. So you're still closing yourself off, which I feel is fine. You're going to overcome this. But it just feels like the last relationship did a number on you. And I also feel like it was very difficult, and you're still trying to bounce back. You're still trying to bounce back, but relationship is really not on your main priority list right now. Just based on that past relationship left a very bitter taste in your mouth. Okay. I'm getting a very heavy Piscean energy that you're dealing with. So the past relationship partner might have been a Pisces. There might have been a lot of issues surrounding that. Okay. So like I'm seeing mental health issues. I'm seeing dependency issues. I'm seeing like perfect imbalance when it comes to give and take in the relationship. And I'm also seeing a lot of deception, just a lot of outright, straightforward, no holds bar type of deception associated with, that past relationship. So keep in mind the energy flows both ways. It could be coming from that person you were with. it could have been coming from you, but I feel for a lot of you, you're dealing with just somebody that was very, very deceitful. And moving away from that, I feel like it's still left a bitter taste in your mouth, and you're trying to recover, right? You're trying to recover. You're trying to, um, not put everybody in the same category as that person, but you're finding it hard to have faith in people again. Okay. I'm also sensing as well when it comes to health matters, if you or somebody very close to you has been dealing with some type of like, this is like allergies, hay fever, and to the extreme sense, it can deal with like insomnia, anxiety, as well as depression. If you or somebody is dealing with that, somebody very close to you, even children, and ex partners, for example, there's going to be a major, major breakthrough when it comes to healing. Okay. So the spectrum is very broad. So it can be something minor, like, very extreme source of allergens, like a allergic reaction, sleeplessness. And then, on the opposite end, on the more extreme end, like emotional fluctuations and depression. I do feel um, there's going to be an alleviation of that. There's going to be some type of a major breakthrough. And if you yourself are seeking any type of therapy treatment as well, I feel like there's going to be some massive major breakthrough that's happening for you. For others of you, I just feel like there's this energy about you wanting to formulate, wanting to plan out your next step. Okay. Wanting to plan out, like, I have a lot of potential and I really want to just, get away. I want to settle somewhere else. I want to be somewhere else. I want to, get a career jump started. So I feel like you're looking at this, all the potential that you have that you can bring to the table. And you feel like where you are right now, opportunities career wise might be limiting. And you also feel like you might need to branch out a little bit just to have some new energy and to have a little bit more fun and excitement in your life. And you're at a process where you're formulating the steps, but I feel like you're just keeping all your cards close to your chest. Okay. Because I feel what happened was there might have been plans that were talked about that, you formulated some plans in the past. And I would say like within the past 2 months. So we are in this. So in July, we're heavily plan based types of month. And you were very excited, when you have new ideas, you get very, very excited. And I feel like you told other people, like, this is what I'm going to do. It's going to work out and it's going to be great. And I feel like reality started to settle in. And for whatever reason, those plans just kind of unravel. And so right now you're changing direction and you're just trying to figure out what's the next step. And you have multiple things that are in the works, but you're keeping everything very close to you because I'm sensing, and there's nothing wrong with this, I'm sensing that the plans in the past, you felt like you were too excited, you rushed into them, and you thought it was going to work out a certain way. So you told everybody, that's what I'm going to do. And when it fell apart, I feel like you blamed yourself. You might have been embarrassed that it didn't go the way that you anticipated. You might have withdrawn internally, and you might have felt, you're beating yourself up over it. So this time around, you're keeping very, very quiet. You're being very secretive about, your new plans. And I feel like for some of you, this is a major, major career move. This is a major, big move for you. And I also feel like for those of you working in a situation, there might be some, they're saying lazy people. So if you are supervising, for example, or managing other people, there are sneaky people who are not holding up their end of the bargain. Okay, they're like doing very, very minimal work just to get by. They're not, their heart and their motivation level is very low. They're not invested in the work situation anymore, and so they do enough to get by. They might, come in late, leave early. They might just sneak away. And I feel as if it's a collusion. It's like multiple people are kind of doing this, and so if you were to call, you are aware of this, you're very sharp and you're actually very smart, and you don't really tolerate it when people, say they're going to do something and they don't follow through. I feel like you have a very low tolerance for insincerity. You see all of this happening, you see all of it, but I feel like the battle itself, you're prepping to see, like, how am I going to confront this situation? Do I, consult somebody higher up? Do I document everything and then just expose all of these people at the same time? What do I do? And I feel like it's aggravating, right? Like, if you're dealing with people who are like this and you're trying to, maintain your composure, you're not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but fair is fair. And so I feel like you have some sticky dilemma in the work front that you're contending with. And they're also telling you that maybe the better thing to do is to bring this to somebody else's attention. Okay? Don't hoard this information. Let it be known somehow. Like, tell the higher ups, because it feels to me like you're a little bit stuck here. And if you expose this whole group, it might lead to a situation where the work environment can be a lot more tenuous, can become a little bit more, difficult for you. And so, consult a higher up, document it, and then consult a higher up, like, their supervisors or their managers, and see if there's a way for them to get reprimanded. Okay. So I just feel that is something that you're going to need to do. And I also feel like this is something that has been bothering you. And approaching this the right way is going to be very good, okay? So, operating from a space where we don't know what to do, we don't know where to turn, and we feel like, oh no, we're kind of like stuck with this problem. You're not really stuck. And I feel like, you might want to be that champion for right and wrong. But in this situation, holding on to these things, I feel, is not going to be good for you. So let the light shine on it. Let it come to the surface. Let other people, the people who are in a position of power, deal with it. And if they're not doing anything to deal with it, go to somebody else. Okay? Go up that higher chain. And I do feel that things are going to be exposed the way they're meant to be. Okay? It's Mercury in retrograde. People will get their retribution if they've been, misbehaving, misconducting themselves at work. It's going to come to light. Okay. The last thing that I want to leave this off with, Sagittarius, is I feel like if you are single, I'm going to do your love reading in a little bit, but this is a really good energy. You have a lot to bring to the table, and you have a very childlike innocence about you. And I feel like between work and everything else that's going on in your life, it would be good for you to start putting yourself out there, interact with more people, and especially carve time for yourself to have a personal, romantic life. Okay. Um, I feel like doing so is just going to clear up, your peace of mind. It's going to be good for your peace of mind. It's going to be good for your emotional health. Okay. Um, I also want to mention as well, they're this combination here. They're saying some type of mysterious illness. Okay, so mysterious illness basically refers to symptoms, like physical symptoms manifesting in a way that's kind of strange. Okay, so it's like you, for example, might have a really severe sore throat, and then the next day it goes away and you're just like, what caused that? And then you might have, like, all of a sudden blur vision, and then the next day it's gone. And I feel like, it's like it comes and goes, and you're not really sure what caused it. And by the time that it went away, you can't really go see the doctor because the symptoms are no longer there. And so I feel for this month, be very careful about, dietary intake. Be careful about the food that you put in your body, making sure that you get more of a regular, like, eating, eating at the regular time, excuse me, eating at the regular time, and being a little bit more mindful of what you're putting in your body, like your diet, your dietary intake, the foods that you're putting in. That's going to be very crucial for you. Okay. So going back to re-examine your health overall. I feel it's going to be very crucial for this month. Okay. Um, Let me see there. I guess that's going to be it for this reading. And I apologize if it's a little bit, if the information is not as, I guess, robust as last month. But I'm just going to go into your love reading because I feel like for a lot of the signs, the month of this, it brings about a lot of issues with relationship. And I saw that with the Aquarius reading. Okay. So I feel like for you guys as well, people coming back from the past and also unfinished business from the past. Okay, what's in store for Sagittarius? I'm going to put this back in. What's in store for Sagittarius for love, romance, and relationship for the month of August 2017? Okay, so they're saying here that peace treaty. They're saying peace treaty. So kind of like, reconciliation, peace treaty. Let's call a truce. Let's talk about this like adults. Somebody is showing you that they need you. Somebody is being a little bit like on the insecure front, on the insecure end, and they're telling you how much they need you. And I feel like it's very unexpected. It's just kind of like caught you off guard, and you're not really sure how to respond. You're not really sure what to do about it because I feel like they're telling you, they're revealing, um, how they feel, and it makes you a little bit uncomfortable. It makes you a little bit uncomfortable, and I see you kind of swarming, and I see you kind of like, oh, what do I do with that information? How do I appear not shocked while being able to express myself, to express my surprise and to express disbelief. So I feel like somebody caught you off guard. It's a situation where you're completely caught off guard and you don't really know how to react. So Aquarius, I'm sorry, Sagittarius, I feel like it's very unexpected. So let me just see here. Okay. I'm actually going to pull out one more card. We have here the Three of Swords. So let me just see. Okay. So Sagittarius, let's talk about your current predicament right now. We have here an earth sign. So this is a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. And some of you are in a relationship with this person. When I mentioned earlier that somebody is telling you how much they need you, they're being a little bit needy this month. They're kind of like stepping out of their character. Usually they're very like reserved when it comes to their emotional expressions. They're not somebody that's mushy. And I feel like for this month they're going to come to you and they're going to be a little bit more on the needy end, and they're going to want you to like reaffirm them, to give them a lot more validation, and to give them that peace of mind that you're not going to leave them. Okay, so I feel like for some of you this is a marriage partner or somebody you're in a relationship with. Okay, and I also feel like if you're in a relationship with them, oh, I'm sorry. This is the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Usually on the older end. Okay, so I feel like this might be somebody that you've known for quite some time. You have like a significant bond with. And there has been a lot of strife in this relationship. So here we have here the Five of Wands, which is lack of consensus. This is overall lack of compatibility. You do things this way, they do things the other way, and you don't really see eye to eye with each other. They also, I'm feeling for some of you, they feel a little bit attacked by you. They feel like you're misjudging them, or they feel like you're being a little bit harsh with them. Okay? And so I would advise you. So here's going back to what I mentioned before. Are you really happy in the relationship? If you're happy, then you can take the relationship at face value, right? If you, on the other hand, you're not happy, if other things are not going smoothly in your life, like if work is not going well, if family life is not going well, be very, very careful about taking it out on the relationship partner that you're with, and being very careful about like being very clear with yourself. Like, I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with that. and don't confuse arguments. Okay, so that means like they're doing this and you're not happy with this, and then you don't address it, so you kind of let it slide, and then the next day they do another thing, and then you're getting mad at that, and then you also drag up that other thing they did the other day, right? So being very clear about, nipping problems in the bud as they come up. So, for example, if they have a habit of being a little bit too gossipy, you can tell them, I don't like it when you talk about other people. Okay? Rather than just letting it slide. And then the next day, they might, chew with their mouth open, and you confront them about that. And then you're also like, oh, by the way, yesterday you were talking about other people. And by that time, it just it defeats the argument. Okay, so nipping things in the bud, if they're doing something that you're not happy with, I feel like it's important to talk about it right then and there when things are still fresh in everybody's mind. So I feel like you're with somebody and they're trying their best, and they feel a little bit attacked. They feel like you're a little bit irritable. Okay, Sagittarius. So find ways to fix this. Okay, are you mad at them, or are you mad at something else? And from one human being to the next, we have like a code of conduct as to how to treat another person, and what goes around comes around. There is that law of karma. So treat others the way we want to be treated, right? So I feel like you have some issues here with another person, and it's really important for you to fight fair. Okay, it's really important for you to like talk about things with them, and try to reach an agreement. Okay, so this is an earth sign here, sun, moon, or rising. Okay, and they don't know what's going on, but they feel like you're a little bit irritable. Okay, so that's what I'm sensing here. Um, in the foundation, what we have here is the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is kind of like it's in the traditional Rider Waite deck, it's the man under the tree, and he's either in deep in contemplation, he's either deep in meditation, or he's just examining all the pieces of his life, and he's trying to figure out, am I really happy? So I feel like that's what you're doing right now. This is the Four of Cups, and in this depiction, it's sort of like, yes, you have suitors, you have people that are interested in you, but you're looking for that transformative, that grand love. Okay, you're looking for this soulmate connection. You feel like it's out there, but you're just like, why isn't it coming in for me? When is it going to be my turn? So you want this all encompassing, great love relationship where the other person just gets you. And for some of us, our lessons in life is greatly about how to communicate, how to compromise, and how to work with other people, even though we might not agree with them. And then for others of us, their relationship is not really their karma that they need to learn. So they're already given soulmate connections, and so the relationship sector is going to flow well. And so I feel like a lot of you're idealizing. You are kind of like that hopeless romantic, energy is settling in for this month, where you are looking for that grand love, and you're using that ideal grand love to measure against your current relationship. And you're just like, if I don't have this grand love, if I don't have this, total encompassing love, maybe I'm just better off being by myself. And so I feel like there are little things in your relationship that you're not satisfied with. And it's really important, like this Mercury retrograde period is a time for examination, deep, thorough examination. So I feel like some of you, that's what you're thinking about. You're just like, I want that deep love. I want that total agreement. I want the other person to get me on an emotional level. I don't want to have to over explain. I don't want to have to, deal with so much conflict. And you want to really ask yourself, is that realistic? Okay. With everybody that there are always people that will disagree with us, and there are always people that we naturally have a strong affinity for. So I feel like you're in danger of trying to, live up to this ideal, or you're looking for this ideal relationship that might not exist. And be a little bit more careful about, appreciating and being very, very grateful for the people in your life, friends, lovers, family. So then don't measure, the reality against the ideal. The ideal is an ideal, it's an ideal type. And it works, in the perfect world. But I feel like in this circumstance that you're dealing with, it just feels to me like you might, separate, and you might forego a really good relationship partner in the process of searching for that ideal. It's not telling you to, settle for less or anything like that, because obviously we know if a relationship is not good for us, right? We know. But it just feels to me like you're looking for more, and you're feeling hemmed in a relationship or with a relationship partner because there's a lot of disagreement and there's a lot of conflict. So let's talk about the past here. And this is a good reminder. This is something good for you to keep in mind, okay? In the past, recent past, we have here the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is the seed of something new. And if you look at the seed, right, like a sunflower seed, whatever it is that you're planning to cultivate, whatever it is that you're planning to put into the ground and watch it grow, it doesn't grow overnight, and it requires a lot of tender, loving care, right? It's just not something that's going to sprout out of the blue. And so I feel like you need to be reminded of this, okay? You're given an opportunity, and it can't grow on its own. It requires input, sunlight, water, nutrients, wind, even to strengthen it against, turbulence, and through turbulent times. That's when, the roots are strengthened. The roots grow deeper into the ground, and the trunks, gain strength. And so through opposition, through difficult times, that's when the relationship can also strengthen. And at the time when this person came into your life, and I feel like for some of you, it might be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. When the person came into the picture, this is the star here. You were very fascinated by each other. And so you felt almost like, oh gosh, this is everything that I've been wanting. This is the person that I've been dreaming about, I've been hoping for and wishing for. And so the universe is giving you what you want, and especially what you need. Because I feel like the person is stubborn. They're fixed in their ways, they're stubborn, and they hold on tight to their values. And the nature of a lot of earth signs in general, earth signs are really, I feel like earth signs are very patient by nature. And I feel like if you're dealing with an earth sign, okay, let's just say you get into an argument, and Sagittarius, you tend to argue on a moral high ground, and you tend to argue in terms of ideals, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that person did that. Why would somebody do that? And then the earth sign that you're dealing with, because they're very grounded, they're very pragmatic, and they're also very, very patient. They understand things. They're just like, well, there are all kinds of people in the world, so we shouldn't really be surprised that people do these things. And so I feel like that's what it is. It's more like you argue from that high moral standpoint. You expect people to be, righteous and perfect and just. And I feel like the person that you're dealing with, yes, they understand that ideally we want all of these qualities, but in the real world, people are just not behaving that way. So I feel like they sense that, they care about you, and they're in your life because they know you're a really good person. But I just feel like in terms of communication, it's not even values. You have the same values, but communication requires so much effort, it seems like, from this, relationship. So here's the thing. The person came into your life, and at the time they came into your life, everything was very perfect, right? Everything was very ideal. and they are the right person. They're coming in offering you what you need in order to restore your faith in love, relationships, in yourself, in order to boost your self-esteem. And now that there's a little bit of opposition coming into the relationship, your first inclination here is, oh, this relationship is not enough. I want to separate. This is not going to work. So I want you to just slow down and really think about what you're doing. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't like to lecture. And so I feel like that's the narrative that I'm getting here. Crowning this reading, we have here the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is a major, major revelation. This is a major snippet of spiritual insight and wisdom that is going to be coming through for you at this present time and in the month of this. I feel like some of you have suspicions that, oh, I don't know if the other person is committed to me. And then some of you are also grappling with the fact that this relationship is too topsy-turvy from one day to the next. I feel like you feel like it's a little bit of a roller coaster ride. And then at the same time, you also feel as if it's almost like the relationship might not be very balanced. And you also suspect as well, and there might have been accusations in the past, okay? You almost suspect as well, like maybe they're flirting around with other people, okay? I'm just gonna see really quickly, is there gonna be a third party involved, okay? Because I feel like you have some trust issues coming through. So let me just see if that is there like a third party interfering in the relationship? We have here the Ace of Swords in the reverse position. And the Ace of Swords in the reverse position basically indicates a situation where somebody is being deceitful and they're not telling the truth. Okay? And we also have here the Emperor. And let me just assure you guys this. If you have suspicions, like, if it's not just disagreement, but if you have suspicions, they're saying that somebody is hiding the truth. But I feel like it's not like outright infidelity. It's like flirting outside of the relationship. It's somebody feeling a little bit under scrutiny, under attack. And so they're looking outside the relationship for ego stroking, for validation, for that emotional support. Does that make sense? So if you feel a little bit estranged from your partner and you're just like, I wonder what they've been doing. They've been, out of the picture for long stretches of time. I feel like they're looking for people that will give them that emotional support. So I feel like it's really important for you this month to fix relationships, okay? The relationships that are the people that are important to you, the people that you love. Try to fix relationships, all right? Moving forward, what we have here as well is the water sign. So this is the Queen of Cups. This is a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. This is somebody that really, really loves you. They're very caring, very loving, very nurturing. And what I have here is the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands basically means that, when you look at the depiction, a lot of success coming in for this relationship partner. So if you're dealing with a water sign in particular, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, I feel like things are going to go swimmingly well. And if you're wondering, if you have a water sign in mind, and you're just like, do they like me? Do they want to be with me? I feel like the answer, you're getting your yes here. Okay. For singles, I feel like you're still clinging on to this heartache. Okay. And you have suitors around you and possibly earth sign and water sign. So we have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and then we have the water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And if you, in particular, if you're dealing with a Pisces, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, just the water sign. If you're dealing with a water sign, what I feel happening is they have some good news that they want to share with you. So I feel like they're reaching some type of a pivotal turning point for the better in their career. They're making more money. They want to shower a lot of gifts and love and affection upon you. And I also feel like there's going to be a lot of social outings associated with this water sign. And then for others, if you're dealing with an earth sign, Be very careful about, don't compare your relationship with other people, okay? So, for example, if you're with an earth sign, let's just say if you're with a Taurus and your friends, they're getting a lot of gifts, they're getting a lot of flowers, balloons, whatever, jewelry, whatever, um, from their significant other, and you're, comparing, like, why doesn't my boyfriend or girlfriend give me these things? Be very careful about that, okay? The relationship is between two people. And if there are things that you're not happy with, definitely nip them in the bud and talk about them so that you don't so that your partner doesn't feel devalued and your partner doesn't feel unappreciated, okay? So I feel like we need to get a relationship on track here. All right, we need to get it on track. It seems to me like other areas of your life, it's going very well, and so you need to get things back on track so that all of these insecurities and issues when it comes to relationship can clear out of the way. Okay, so Sagittarius, I hope the reading has been helpful for you, and I hope that you can extract the advice from this reading. Okay, it's not entirely like positive, and I apologize for that, but I feel like maybe the message is meaningful for somebody out there watching this. Okay, so I do wish you the best. Take care of yourself. Okay, and I'll be back for the mid-month reading. If you'd like to book an appointment with me, the website is in the description box below where you can, schedule yourself in for an appointment, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Take care of yourself and enjoy the rest of your month, okay? Bye-bye.